Okay. So that's why we will start today with that first agenda, yeah, to go through the assignment brief once again, and then the what is it called again? Just to make sure everybody is on the same page, and let's clarify any inquiries, misconceptions about the assignments. And for the second assignment, there is some change imposed to the, sorry, task 3, yeah, no, second assignment, task 3, there are some changes imposed after having discussions with Mr. Amy and Mr. Ragu. So yes, we are going to postpone this assignment due date to week 13. So next week, not this week. I also fully, I mean, I fully understand you are quite preoccupied, right, with other 3 or 2 subjects also at the moment. So maybe you can make use of this opportunity to optimize your preparations for those 2 assignments. In addition to that, we are not going to conduct presentations this time for my class, even though I'm more than happy to do it. But maybe considering the timing and also maybe the availability of witnesses and also your availability, I don't want to postpone this any longer, because we need to also finalize the grading afterwards, and postponing this further to, let's say, week 4 or week 14 or week 15 might not be a good decisions, right, for us. So that's why let's have a recording, yeah, video recording presentation instead. So you will prepare a video recording, present it, and then of course, in addition to the video recording, you will need to submit also your slide presentations and lecture notes, right? So that's about the assignment submissions. Yeah, okay. Again, you can lower your expectations a little bit, yeah, from task 1 and task 2, because again, task 3 is not as demanding as task 1 in terms of academic writing, because this time it's only slide presentations and video. However, the video, of course, are not going to be checked, yeah, for plagiarism with Turnitin, but your slide presentations will be checked using Turnitin. So on again, if possible, try your best to still stick with the essential paraphrasing techniques from academic writing, research writing, and be consistent as possible. Okay, so now I think that we have more people joining us, so let's start our discussions. Yeah, the first agenda is, oh wait, okay, let's start with this. All right, so to put some context on our second assignment, right, let me remind you again of these learning outcomes, right? So we have 4 learning outcomes in total for this subject. Learning outcome A, understand the concept of strategic leaderships and management. Learning outcome B, understand strategic leaderships and management in practice. And learning outcome C, understand the role of strategic leaderships and management in delivering organizational change. These first 3 learning outcomes are covered in task 1 and task 2 respectively, or assignment 1 technically, right? And we have completed this stage. Now, for task 2, this is going to be dedicated for learning outcomes D, where you are expected to be able to review and develop own skills and behaviors as a strategic leader and manager. Here you will be assessed, yeah, for your critically discussions on the qualities and traits of effective strategic leaders and managers. The techniques and the tools might be new relatively compared to our previous classes, but the traits of effective strategic leaders and managers, even though I'm going to talk about that too today, consider the discussion as additional insight or complementary information to what you have studied in our first few sessions when preparing task 1 and task 2. Okay. Again, the new informations I'm going to discuss today with you are not meant to replace, okay, at all the let's say qualities, traits, leadership styles, those conceptuals. I mean those concepts completely. Okay, if only it will serve as complementary information only. All right. And then the two critically assess on qualities, traits, skills, and behaviors related to strategic leaderships and management. So maybe D1 are still, D1 is still moderately connected to those conceptual informations, but D2 are completely about you. So you have more flexibilities in the discussions, but at the same time, you need to maintain the reliability and the accuracy of your assessments. Yeah, even though this is about you, but the assessment should be prepared in the best way, best manner. So then the result of these assessments can be further studied, useful, and not only that, reliable and accurate. Therefore, some common tools in doing this critical assessment will be introduced to you. Maybe not today, but in the next sessions. But that's the idea. So you will have a proper tool to run these assessments. Last one, D3, develop justified recommendations for developing own strategic and management skills and behaviors. If you see, D3 will require context, right? Because technically you are going to craft a plan and then elaborate that plan in your presentations. And the context is, of course, will be the same context you use in the first two assignments, which is your own company and the manager you have talked about in the previous sections, and also the recessions and external environments that we have previously talked about and discuss a lot when we prepare task 1 and task 2. Okay, so that's where you can see the connection between task 3 and task 2 and task 1, right? Okay, now, yeah, any questions so far? Yeah, so that's about the learning outcome. I just want to recall these informations to make sure everyone is aware about the learning outcomes. All right, so this is your framework. Yeah, you don't want to be over, what is it called, over writing, yeah, and also under writing, yeah, in your slide presentations. So yeah, use this as your framework. Questions? No? Okay, let's continue.
Question.
Yes, Mr. Sandy. Yes, Sandy, please.
Ini kalau misalkan we didn't fulfill like the LO, do we get resub or straight go retake?
Resub first. Resub first, and
Oh,
then
resub first. Okay.
yes.
So as
Okay.
usual. Okay.
Yes, correct. Okay, so be very careful, okay, for your level, especially to those who are more used to HND, HNC. I have mentioned this before, right? But again, it is important to re-mention this. So we only know pass, okay? In level 7, we only know pass and not pass, resubmission and retake, that's it. So what is the requirement for pass? All of this from A1 to D3. So you miss one, let's say, elements, then you will be you will have your resubmissions, okay, for the first time, and then if you still get the resubmission for the second time, it's going to be a retake. But as I mentioned during our first QC, this is not the only conditions, right, that can lead you to get a resubmission or retake. Fail with the Turnitin, for examples, and some housekeepings will also cause you resubmissions or retake. So LOs are, of course, the main components in this in my grading decisions later on, but housekeeping will also have some contributions in that grading decision. So please also take care and make sure you do follow the housekeeping requirements mentioned in the assignment brief. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Nigel.
Just wanna answer about the last assignment. Do we get a due date move forward or still the same?
Okay. Sorry, for this assignment or the previous assignment?
This assignment.
Oh yeah, for this assignment, yes, I mentioned this just now also. We are going to postpone this assignment due date to week 13, Saturday, week 13. So it's going to be on the 4th, February 4th. Yeah, so next week until 11:59 p.m. Okay. Yeah, well, maybe we can extend this to maximum Sunday. We will see first, okay? Because I will have QC with you first. So again, if I have to extend this a little bit more, maybe maximum Sunday, the reason is because I need to finalize the grading as well, right? So if we postpone this any further, maybe it's not good decisions for you and also for me, yeah, because not so long after this we'll have another semester, right? The second term. Okay. Yeah. All right, and then for this time, for this assignment, minimum only one QC if you read the assignment brief. So again, you will see it yourself, as I mentioned before. This time the task is less demanding in terms of concepts and yeah, in terms of concepts related to strategic leaderships and management, meaning you don't really need to make citations to journals or textbooks, unlike the first assignment, because this time it's going to be more about your reflections, yeah, reflections about the managers, reflections about his or her experience, as well as about you, your plan ahead. So that's the main message of this third task. So considering that, I believe you will not face much issues with the concepts, right? The issue that usually comes whenever whenever it comes to QC is usually about the academic concepts, and also the what is it called, the expectations are more straightforward, I would say, right, compared to the first three tasks. sorry, the first 2 tasks. So hopefully 1 QC will be sufficient. Anyway, even if not, of course, my plan is to have at least 2 QCs with you. But yeah, that is why I need to make this replacements class as soon as possible. So that will allow you to prepare the assignment also as soon as possible. So when we have the QC, you will have something to discuss with, instead of empty draft or it's always nice to start with something instead of from scratch when we have the QC, right? Okay, so that's my answer, Nigel, about how many QC. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, all right. Next, so these are the I would say concepts. Yeah, if you might want to call them concepts, you might need to develop your task 3. Okay, so first, as you can see here, qualities and traits of effective strategic leaders and manager, articulate, strategic, etc., etc. We're going to talk about this today, and conducting an assessment, 360-degree feedback, etc., etc., and also justifying recommendations. So the qualities and traits of effective strategic leaders and managers will be put in the context of the manager you analyze in task 1 and 2, and also the manager, and also on yourself, right? So what happens if you discuss yourself also for assignment 1? It's okay, right? You can also talk, because it's going to be about historical reflections, right? It's going to be about reflections. So it's going to be similar, whether you do it for somebody else, right? Or you do it for yourself. It's the same thing. It's about reflections, evaluation. So the approach is the same. Okay. And like mentioning facts, supporting arguments are also necessary, not only when for discussing someone, but also mentioning facts, arguments are important for self-assessment. Okay, so again, STEM approach. About number 2, conducting an assessment. These are going to be for the leader. Yeah, so if this is especially for those who are already familiar with these techniques, and maybe you have you did this in the past to, let's say, monitor performance of your subordinates or of somebody else working for you, then this time we are going to conduct this not for the employee, I would say not for the staffs, but for the leaders. Okay, so this is going to be mostly about you, not other persons. And last one is justifying recommendations. Think smart, and other frameworks as well. So if you pay attention carefully to these learning outcome topics, they are mostly about frameworks and tools, right? So tools are meant to, in general, I'm talking about general. So in management, leadership and management, tools can serve as a framework or can serve as an instrument, like we have previously discussed in assignment task 1 and task 2 preparations. For example, if you remember, one of your friend delivered presentations about traits of strategic leader. There is some short questionnaire form where you are asked to answer the questionnaire and then give score to check if you are or if you already possess the characteristics or the traits yet or not. So yeah, those are the purpose of tools, to help you with figuring out things, making decisions, collecting data, and so on and so forth. So given the nature of tools to ease you with these informations collections, it should be easy to understand, okay? And also it should be ready for use. That's why conceptually speaking, they are not rocket science, okay? But what is more important about the tools are you are capable of using the tools and then align it with the learning outcomes and also the context of our assignment brief. That's it. But all the tools, none of them are difficult, sophisticated tools. Even these are just I would say analog layer, less interventions of technology, so you can just do it like immediately, even with little prior knowledge to the tools. You can just immediately use and analyze the result of the tools. Okay, so that's it. That's why we can lower our expectations, right? However, I think for some students also, yeah, like me also, I experience this sometimes when there are little scaffolding, yeah, unlike assignment one. In assignment one, the scaffoldings are quite significant, right? You are told to do this. In terms of the theories, we discuss a lot of informations. Even I ask you to deliver the discuss the journals, papers to gain extra information about the concepts, to see how the concepts are implemented and executed in real life situations, right? But for this assignment learning, the learning, the task, yeah, again, it will not be as difficult as that, yeah. So little scaffolding is going to be there, so you need to exercise, if necessary, yeah, more of your creative thinking, innovations, right? Because this time the writing are more about yourself, about argumentation. So of course you are not going to Google about yourself. You are not going to read the textbooks about yourself, right? To some students, they can flow better with their writing when it comes to situations like this. But yeah, some students, they might find it also challenging, because this kind of writing is less comes with, less scaffolding, less knowledge, and you need to rely more on yourself compared to making a report. So yeah, to those who find this challenging, maybe, yeah, that's it. You just have to I would say, what is it called? Empty vessel cannot empty container, yeah, cannot fill in a, let's say, glass. So you need to equip yourself with examples. That's why if you read my slides, if you have read the first two slides I prepared, they come with examples, yeah, from the internet, for you to see how each tools is going to be used. And this is important because you need to know how to use the tools properly, and not to get because if you don't use it properly, you might end up with wrong informations and interpretations. and that's it. We want a proper use, like I mentioned before, reliable, accurate information, decision making, because we do hope what you prepare for this second assignment will be useful, not only as performance evidence in this class, but it can hopefully go beyond the classroom, useful for your self-development, useful for your future career plan, useful for maybe you in developing your own business, your own organizations that you are working with at the moment. And yeah, so that's why the reliability and accuracy of the informations are also important. Okay. All right. Now let's okay, I will need a short break in 10 minutes. I just need to perform the prayer, yeah, because it's already it's still, yeah, a little different from Indonesia, the praying time. So I just need about 15 minutes to perform the prayer, 10 to 15 minutes. I will let you know. We'll have the break very soon. So now, okay, let's go through the assignment brief. Yeah. Okay. So for task 2, we call this professional development. Okay. Learning outcome AC D1, D2, D3. Okay. The reason why only D1, D2, and D3, because yeah, the first 3 learning outcomes have been covered in the first task. However, yeah, this is supposed to be task 2. Sorry, I confused. Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to be 3. Yeah, 2 tasks. Yeah, not 3 tasks. Okay, my bad. So anyway, just a matter of numbering. I will fix it later. So okay, let me read this for you. Yeah. For the selected manager positions, all right, for the selected manager position, meaning the one you have discussed in assignment 1, and in relations to the digital transformation strategy in the organization, something you have also talked about in assignment 1, right? You need to prepare a 30 minutes presentations, right? So this is the length of the video that you need to prepare, all right? So you decide. Okay, I will give you on Saturday, maybe. Yeah, let's see if we can have an extra class on this Friday. But I talked to Sandy before. I don't think I will be able to make it an extra class on this Friday, but we will see. But definitely in the next meeting, I'm going to give you some general guidance. Let's say how many slides are on average necessary, yeah, for a 30 minutes presentations and etc. stuff. But again, a 30 minutes presentation is a long talk, yeah, especially when this is about academic talk, yeah, presentation. So yep, you need to really prepare for the presentation, and you will record 30-minute presentations, right? So to make it easier for you with the submissions, later I will mention. Okay, I will add additional instructions. You don't need to upload this to Google Classroom, but you will upload this to your own YouTube channel. You just need to present the link in the Google Classroom. Okay, so that way we can get rid of the what is it called, storage, yeah, capacity issue that usually occurs with our Google Classroom. I don't know. I think UniSadhuGuna's Google is about workspace is premium, so unlimited. But again, I want to avoid any hiccups in the uploading. So again, like while uploading, it's already a time limit. So you just prepare the video in advance in your YouTube studio and then upload to your channel. You don't have to make it public, just to those with the link who can view, for example. And I don't know, in the future, you can use this as one of your portfolio as well, right? Maybe you want to increase your exposure, yeah, with towards this public speaking related jobs. Yeah, you can cite your YouTube video, right? Okay, and yeah, and speaker notes. Okay, so in addition with the presentations, you will also need to come with PowerPoint and speaker notes. Well, I know many of you, or maybe some of you, are more, let's say, experienced with this content creation. So even though I ask you to prepare PowerPoint slides and speaker notes, the way you present the slides, yeah, in the video, it depends on you. Okay, so you can go with the conventional YouTube educational video where you have your yeah, like me, for example, like this, you have you can see my video, and then pops up, yeah, this, how do you call it? Okay, anyway, the small picture of the speaker, and then the what is it called, presentation on the main proportions of the screen. Or you can also do something like this. Let me show you. If, let's say, if you haven't if you never done this before. Okay, so for example, let me put this on slideshow first. Okay, 1 second. Oh, wait, why can I? Okay, 1 sec. Oh, never mind, I don't have to put this on slide screen. Sorry, my mistake. So I just need to where is mm, mm, mm. Sorry, you go. I need to access my virtual drive. Okay, you can see. Do you see the screen, right? So you can also do something like, this. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there are many styles. Now you are living in the, I think you are surrounded with, many contents, yeah, and also, yeah, digital contents, and also maybe you are yourself a content creator. There are many ways to do this, but make sure it fits the YouTube platforms and requirements, and also their copyrights and stuffs, right? Let's say, for example, some music are copyrighted, right, in Google platforms. So they, yeah, you can still use the sounds, but it might take you some time before the video can be posted, right, on Google. So if you use too sophisticated techniques, sounds, maybe that will increase the quality of your presentations. However, at the same time, consider also the access to this content, right, like copyright issues, and you don't want to have the portions of the video muted, right, because of the copyright issues, and etc., etc., or maybe it it goes against the community guideline, yeah, prepared by YouTube, and so on and so forth. So yeah, again, for the video, no, you can be as creative as possible, but the don't forget, the main thing is I want to hear your presentations, right? That's the message. You need to communicate, and it has to be at the same time the video that communicates the message, and also you communicate the message. Meaning you have to be in the video. You have to be in the video, yes, and you have to be speaking, yeah, in the video. I don't want you to submit just slides, videos, and then narrations like that. No, you have to be in the video. Okay, so there are many examples on the internet on how you can do it. Yeah, like this one is also an example. So I will leave it to you, and of course during QCs we can talk more about this, right? Stop sharing screen. Okay, let me go back to this assignment brief just a little more. Okay, so yeah, that's the PowerPoint and the speaker notes. About the PowerPoint and speaker notes, so this is the slide. Yeah, slide is as simple as this, and speaker note is wait, let me explain this now. Wait, sorry. Okay, so if you see the PowerPoint, yeah, with other applications, going to be slightly different. But let's say, okay, let's just like notes. I'm explaining this mainly for those who are not familiar with this. Yeah, some of you maybe know this already, yeah, because of your background. So this is how you prepare the speaker notes. Okay, this is one way. Another way is you can change the view, yeah, of PowerPoint, and you can select this, view notes master, okay, and you can edit from here. Yeah, this way is often better, yeah, for you, because you can see the layout better. Like you can even drag move this around, if you need more space, if you need let's say more content, yeah, you can copy paste image, even you can insert things, additional informations that can support your presentation. So I always suggest my students to do this, yeah, this view, because better for you to deal with the notes, yeah, instead of wait, yeah, instead of having this with normal layout. Yeah, so yeah, again, but it's over to you. Yeah, you can also use this wait, sorry. I want this, sorry, okay, never mind. I want to show you one another use. Oh, yeah. We have these tools also. Sorry, yeah, this outline view. Yeah, if you want to see, you can also use this outline view just to check the what is it called, the flow, yeah, of your slide. And also we have this slide master. Okay, so using slide master is always recommended. Of course, you can use my template. Yeah, this way you don't have to edit the slide one by one. Takes you more time if you do it that way. But of course, that allows you to personalize each design for each what is it called, each slide. But maybe for this kind of presentations, educational presentation, academic presentation, you need a more standardized layout. So you can use this layout if you want to, or you can come with your own standardized presentation out. It's over to you. Yeah. Okay, so this is normal, right? So we'll also have more discussions about this. Okay, next, evaluating the strategic leaderships and management development plan. I think I don't have to remind you about the nature of a PowerPoint. Yeah, it's a power of the point. So you don't want to make your slide looks like a page of textbook, right, full of words. Yeah, so just a minimum words. If you check one of the textbook I share with you, the textbook has the informations. Let me show you. Where is it? Yeah, okay. So this one, yeah, please check this textbook, and you go to yeah, this one, presentations in persons and online. Okay, my original plan is to have to include this as one of my lecture notes, but now I think we don't have enough time, okay, to have this to incorporate this in our discussion. So I strongly suggest you to go over this by yourself. All right, so you see this is a relatively old textbook, but it contains some fundamental tips in how to deliver a good presentations. So again, yeah, framework again and again, framework like how see the difference. It shows you some examples between good presentations and yeah, this is a compact, concise presentations, and which one is not. So yeah, this is the textbooks I also use in my previous study. So I found it very useful for me. So I'm a living proof. So you can also use this as your reference in preparing your slide. Not only presentation, by the way, this is a very good textbook. Yeah. It's the I just want to see. So it covers various types of communications. Yeah, not only presentations, but giving feedbacks and so on and so forth. But you will not find conceptual discussions, okay, in this textbook. It is more about the tools, more about frameworks. That's why you will love this textbook. Should you have time, please also go through other chapters as well. Okay. Yep. And yeah, because we are in strategic leaderships and management, you might want to have use more leaderships sounds, vocabularies, yeah, in your presentation. So that means formal, right? It's a must because this is academic presentations, and also maybe you want to make some engagement with your audience. Yeah, there are actually many things here from this textbook that you can learn from. So I will leave it to you. Okay, evaluate the qualities. I have mentioned this, right? So this is D1. Yeah, evaluate the qualities and traits needed to perform effective management function and leadership for the selected managerial position. So in these evaluations, maybe some referencing to the concepts are still required, right? Because this is we talk about the ideal situations, and we are evaluating, right? So when you do evaluations, you will need an instrument to measure this evaluation. We call it benchmarking. Now, when it comes to problem like this, you can benchmark by referring to an academic source, right? So what does the, let's say, academic source mention about effective management and effective leaderships? You make a reference to that textbook, right? And what are the effective, what are the traits, what are the qualities, and more or less you will be able to see these concepts in some of the, maybe in majority of the topics that we have or previously discussed in task 1. For example, yeah, in task 1, sorry, section 1, C, for example, sorry, wait, yeah, 1C, yeah. When you talk about management functions, the POLC, right? You talk about these management functions. You talk about leadership theories. So those theories are still relevant, and you can revert to that when discussing a task 2. But this time you will talk more about the qualities and traits that, in addition to your previous knowledge, I will also add some qualities. Technically, I'm just going to discuss each of these one by one. Yeah, so that's our second agenda for today. Okay, B, assess and benchmark your own qualities. So you make what is it called? Evaluations on the manager, what he or she has done in the past in order to let's say fulfill his responsibilities, his and or her responsibilities, right? And you do the evaluations, how what the theory says about that, and whether the person has what is it called, has or his qualities and traits are aligned with the ideal proposal about the traits or not, yeah, as according to the academic sources. And yeah, that's how you technically do it. Yeah, but in B, this is going to be about yourself. So you need to assess. Yeah, you need to perform the assessment. So to make it clear, if the manager you are discussing is yourself for the first assignment, limit your discussions on what you have done. Okay, on what you have done in the past. I will repeat again this information during our QC, but let's make it clear, okay? So if the manager is you, for task 2, section A, you talk mainly about what you have done in the past, okay? And then you try to benchmark this with the academic sources, all right? Do not use tools, okay? Do not use the tools to develop section A. In section B, this is the time you perform the assessments, and then what is it called? You will get new insights, and you will be able to provide also new insights, new discussions. If you just reuse the informations to develop from B to develop section A, then you will have less quality of presentations, yeah, because you will just talk about the same thing all over again. So that's my suggestions. Okay, so for A, do it for your past performance. B, it's more about your what is it called, to get to know yourself better. Okay, so yeah, this is the assessment. And last one, prepare recommendations and continued personal development plan to improve your own strategic leaderships and management skills to meet the selected managerial position qualities and traits requirements. So easier. Okay, so for example, Adam, you discussed the Lion Air, right? Sorry, I don't remember his name, but let's say Mr. X, right? So in the future, you should imagine you are going to be in, we are going to be in his or her position. You will prepare recommendations how to be a person that fits that positions in the future, right? Of course, this is going to be a SWOT analysis, right? And you are not going, the time you acquire that positions will be different than the time the person is on the job, right? So think about the future, think about the, you know, be specific with your time frame, in what years, in how many years you think you will be in that positions. So then your what is it called? Your discussions will be more contextual and relevant. On the other hand, if you are talking about yourself, right? Again, similar approach. You can discuss this even better because you know your pathway, you know what you want to do with your business, you know what you want to do with your organization. So think of the next 10 years, for example, the next 5 years, with, or even just for this next 1 year, let's say, in these difficult, tough situations, what would be your best approach in terms of leadership and management? Okay, so this is going to be hypothetical, but even though it's hypothetical, the time frame should be about the future. Okay, that's my point, not about the past, because the past is already over. So you should be more critical, right? Okay, not just about if you are in if you were in his positions. We are not going to talk about that. Okay, but we want you to be more futuristic. Okay, visionary. This is leadership and management. So imagine if you hold the position in the future with the possible threats and opportunities, what you can do in order to get the best of the situations as the leader and manager, okay, of the chosen organizations. All right. Okay, maybe by now you already have some question, but I need to have a short break first. Okay, I'll be right back. And in the meantime, you can have a break as well, or you want to go through the slides or the materials, go ahead, and looking forward to your questions, yeah, after the break. Okay, see you soon. Okay, all right, so let's resume our class. Okay, any questions about the assignment brief? Anyone? Okay. Yeah, so for task 2, see 30 minutes, no more than 20 presentation slides. Well, this is for the main content, excluding the bibliography, reference list, and the title. Okay, yeah, just for the main content. Yes, any questions? Yes, Adam?
Yes, sir. Just wanted to ask. So the presentation basically revolves around what our like, let's say for my case, an example, what I talked about in my assignment 1 was the manager, the director of flight operations, right? And then so the slides are just what I would do to be in his position in the future, I guess. That's like it's sort of like a self-reflection, or is
Yeah,
it something that
that's going to be the whole story. Okay, but if you break it down before you can think of what you ought to do when you are in his or her positions, you need to do to come up with these conclusions, you need the introductory part, like you need to make evaluation first, right? How you will recommend something that is, let's say, still not or something that was not executed properly by the existing manager, for example. So yes, that's the big story, the conclusions, but before you can come with the good conclusions, the introductory section is needed, including the evaluation and self-assessment. Okay. Yeah, and of course you will need to present the result of your self-assessment in the video, because that's going to be part of your recommendations. Sorry, that's going to be part of the arguments and reasoning behind why your recommendation is your recommendations. Okay, Adam?
okay? So basically on the start it's just an introduction, and then the results of the analysis of what we've done, the like what we've studied on this manager, what he's done right and wrong, and then after that is the self assessment part of it. Is it? Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I don't recommend you to change the manager. Okay, maybe by now you have thought of a better manager to talk about, but if you do that, maybe you will need another analysis, right? So given the time constraint, maybe just stick to your because the assignment before also say so. But in case you have this thought, just my suggestion is to just stick to the manager you discussed for assignment 1 and task 1 and task 2. Okay. Yeah. Another thing about the video, which I just think of just now. So again, the video is purely of your own creations, your own style, your preference, in terms of the digital content. So if you like to be just you in the video for the entire 30 minutes, that's also fine, but you might need to put some captions like 1, 2, 3, those kinds of videos. That's also fine with me. Even if you don't use the slide at all, you don't show the slide at all, instead you replace that with captions or with some comments in the video. It's over to you. So but the idea is the slide presentation should the video presentation should be in line with your presentation's flow. That's it. Yeah. So again, the style is over to you, and there is a possibility of submitting a playlist instead of a single video. So maybe you like it that way, you want to break it down into sections. Over to you. Let's say because we have three sections here, then you want to prepare 3 videos. 1, 2, 3. It's over to you, each 10 minutes, for example. Also good for your audience, right? They can easily learn, trace your video later on. And maybe, or alternatively, you can also include this time. No, I forget the name, but in YouTube you can break your video down to times, or by times. You can cite the times, the minutes, for example, and then mention it in the video captions, video descriptions. A minute this to this is about, let's say, introduction. Minute this to this about, let's say, section A, section B, section C, and etc., etc. So that's also a good checklist, right, for you yourself, because doing that way, if you have covered all pointers properly or not. Okay, anything else? Oh yeah, of course, QC. Yes, we can do QCs, right, for this. So we'll start the QC from Saturday, okay, and also maybe another sessions sometimes next week before Saturday. I will need your time again, for the extra QC sessions, extra class. So I know next week you are not going to have the classes, right, with Mr. Nandar and Mr. Yosi anymore, maybe. So hopefully we will have more flexibility to decide which day we will have replacement classes. I personally, of course, love to have the classes on, working days like this, but not possible for me. I don't always have free sections, during this time. So that's why we have the Saturday session schedule. Okay. All right. So that's my questions about the QC. Someone sent me a direct message. Okay. Anything else? If not, then I'm going to start with the slide presentations. Right. The topics. Okay. So Right, let's start screen. Okay. Yeah, today I'm not going to use that, PowerPoint as background mode, because I need to go between PowerPoint and the browser later on. But if you want to see the result, of the, if let's say if you haven't done this before, if you and you want to see the result of this, you can double check the video recording, which I will upload later. Okay, so you can see the how it works with in the recording with this PowerPoint as your background. Okay. All right. So okay, strategic leadership style. All right. So this is not really a style as proposed by theorists or thinkers in leadership and management field, but this is more a term or definitions. So then we can distinguish leaderships, normal leaderships, and the or conventional leaderships and strategic leadership style. But you should see that these definitions is not or relatively is not new and not like I said before, erasing the old definitions the other definitions we have learned about leaderships and strategic management. So strategic leadership is a leader's ability to visualize, plan, lead, and make the best out of the resources they have to execute strategies efficiently and successfully. So the first part of these definitions are simply definitions of a leader, right? Yeah, all leaders must be able to visualize, must be able to plan, must be able to lead, and must be able to make the best out of the resources. No questions. Okay. Anyway, what makes it more, let's say, specific to strategic is maybe the following explanations. To execute strategies efficiently and successfully. Let's recall this managerial levels, okay? The levels of management, the pyramid that we discussed in the early classes, okay, during the early classes of this course. We have CEO, top management, middle management, and then lower level management or the frontliner. Each manager in this pyramid level, must serve as the leader, because in general, a manager functions includes planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So to a certain extent, leading will always be an integral part of your managerial functions. Okay. Anyway, again, the question is, do all leaders in this pyramid require strategic thinking? The answer is, of course, not. Okay. Please refer to the other framework about how, okay, for example, the managerial skills, okay, the spectrum. In general, skills of a manager can be classified into 3 categories: technical, human, and what is it called again? Abstract, conceptual thinking. Okay, conceptual thinking, human, and technical. As you go higher, right, in the pyramid, more and more conceptual thinking is required. from the manager in that level. So if we put this context into types of objectives, right, then strategic is more about conceptual thinking than human thinking and human skills and technical skills. However, that being said, I hope you still remember that this human skill spans equally across all levels of manager, meaning first line, frontliner, middle manager, or top manager. Human skills are equally important. Okay, if you recall the picture, yeah, or the diagram, yeah, the size of the spectrum are the same, meaning the image wants to, or the picture framework wants to tell you that they are equally important from the CEO level to the frontliner manager. Okay, so but in terms of conceptual thinking, not the same. Yeah, the demand for conceptual thinking are more as you when you go higher into this pyramid. Okay, now so strategies is about is part of what we call organizational goals. Okay, organizational goals can be broken down into several types. Okay, from the most abstract one we call visions, and yeah, you may also call it missions depending on which theories you want to revert to. And then we have strategic goals, we have departmental objectives, and then divisional objectives, and we have operational objectives, and then the in the bottom of these classifications we have tactical objectives. Right, so it is important, okay, to underline here that you want to talk about strategy. Okay, you're not going to talk about visions and well, okay, you may consider vision and mission as part of the strategy because this is on the upper layer, about the top layer of this framework. But for sure, you don't want to talk about tactical, you don't want to talk about operational or departmental or just divisional. Okay, yeah, well, it can be a departmental strategy or divisional strategy, yeah, depending on your manager. But again, I want to underline the idea of this strategy. Okay, strategy should be broader, okay, rather than narrow like the tactical plan. So make sure you talk about strategy. So with this context, of course, at least the manager you talk about is the middle level manager and above, right? Middle level manager, let's say head of divisions, head of department, CEO, or the suite, for example, the suite of the companies, and so on and so forth. So the C-suite of the company, sorry, the CEO, CFO, CMO, etc., etc. So be careful, yeah, with this context. So when make sure your talk, your discussions do not fall into this kind of planning, yeah, tactical or operational. We want a strategic talk in this discussion. Okay. Yeah. So to execute strategies efficiently and successfully, all of the how to execute a strategy is not part of task to concepts. Yeah, it's not the part of the concept introduced specifically in task 2. But if you remember, we have talked about the strategies crafting, yeah, framework. So it starts from strategic analysis, and then strategic choices, and then strategic implementation. So at least that's the one framework that I can think of, yeah, when it comes to strategy, yeah, the stages. Other alternatives of frameworks are also there. Feel free to use any tools relevant with your assignment. Okay, so we can watch this video together. Let me say, I need to share sound. Okay, let's listen to these explanations.
You can't have strategy without leadership. They're inseparable. You can create a sound strategic plan, but doing something meaningful with it requires bold leadership. Strategic leadership is made up of two important elements. First, fulfilling your regular leadership responsibilities in a proactive, forward-thinking way. And second, incorporating a specific set of qualities and characteristics into your leadership style as you lead your team and execute on longer-term objectives and plans. There are only a few differences between normal day-to-day leadership and strategic leadership, but they are big and they are distinctive. The differences we've discovered all center around the way leadership principles are applied. Strategic leaders are not only concerned about fulfilling today's expectations, they also care deeply about defining and focusing on a future agenda that hones in on things that really matter. By defining a long-term vision for your team, you're better able to allocate scarce resources and channel the collective effort of your team, preparing you to seize opportunities, head off threats, and achieve better results down the road. Remember that thinking, planning, and acting strategically shouldn't ever be considered the responsibility of senior leadership alone. All leaders, at all levels, are responsible for envisioning and taking action on the future they want to create.
Okay, so sorry, I was on mute. I actually mentioned something before when I posted the video. So when she mentioned about the today's expectation, this is what I refer to as tactical weekly schedule. You know, if you are familiar with operations management, you should be familiar with the terms such as aggregate schedule, weekly schedule, monthly schedule, who are usually meant for that are usually meant for tactical, yeah, planning. So it's going to be too narrow, yeah, and too time consuming if we talk about tactical operations for my subject, and because you will also talk about this for your operations and management strategy, right, next term. So I think it's let's limit our discussions to only about strategic planning. Yes, the narrator mentioned strategic leadership should be important to envision all plans for all levels, but again, I want to limit these discussions to only the high-ranking managers, yeah, in the pyramid. That way, you don't have to spend too much time on figuring out the technical, yeah, or tactical aspects of the organizations you are talking about, because it's going to be very very what is it called again? It's going to be too much talk. Yeah, if you have to discuss tactical for operations, tactical for finance, tactical for HR, for example. So again, limit your discussion to strategic planning rather than tactical or operations. Okay. Any comment? Anyone? I don't know. Maybe you have some or your own takeaway after watching the video in terms of strategic leaderships. Anyone? Okay. Not yet. All right. Let's. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue then. Yeah. Okay. So strategic leaderships and strategic management, as mentioned in the video, and also as I mentioned before, leadership is an integral part of management functions. Okay, so as strategic leaders must be able to couple their strategic plan to their strategic management. Okay, see strategic planning. Okay, to their strategic management. So the organizations respects their leadership role and overall visions while working to bring that visions to life. Okay, planning executions is common to all levels. Okay, to all planning in our management concepts, regardless the managerial level. However, again, to the scope of our discussions, please limit your discussions to strategic planning. Okay, another important, let's say, factor why strategic leadership is needed, for an organization is about productivity. In task 1 and task 2, you talk a lot about task 1, you talk a lot about performance management, right? So often performance management or performance can be easily measured by measuring the productivity. This is actually one of the article I wrote. It was about productivity. Okay, so what is productivity? Okay, when it comes to let's say manufacturing company, it's simply or as let's say proposed by the economists, productivity is simply the ratio of total output to total input. It's not always easy, right, to realize this ratio in practice. Let's say, how do I measure productivity of a leader? How do I measure a productivity of a administrator, for example? Okay, sorry, my internet connection is not unstable at the moment. So if you if my voice is breaking out, please let me know. Okay, so let's say security. Okay, how do you measure productivity of security persons using this ratio or framework? Because the person doesn't, a security man doesn't really produce an output, right? So how do we measure? So that is why it's not always measurable that way, quantitatively. Now, this has something to do with our feedback later on, and that's the reason why we have the discussion about performance management. Okay, so in general, productivity is about the ability to deliver results. Okay, results can be in terms of fulfilling your responsibilities. Okay, and in the responsibilities, activities such as producing an output, goods or services, can be mentioned, or if you are more on the let's say administrative role, then maybe it's going to be something else. But again, it's about the ability to deliver. That's productivity. So a strategic leadership style can promote this productivity. it's not because strategic leadership installs new skill to your employees, okay? Rather, it provides a clear directions, okay? This is what we call visions, yeah? With a clear directions, let's say goal with clear destinations, this install a good mindset, right, in your followers. They now, okay, if you remember the Hersey-Blanchard theory I talk about, so you can direct your followers better if you know where to go, and they understand where to go as well, right? So a strategic leadership definitely will boost, yeah, employers' productivities, followers' productivity. So this should be the ultimate goal of these strategic leaderships. Okay, eventually, if each individual in the organizations can perform, this individual performance will contribute to the overall total performance of the company. Okay, no organizations or company can excel, right, without with a Superman, let's say, leader with a Superman staff. No, organizations, companies who excel are those companies that have a strong performing team. Okay, so every component in that organization's divisions, unit, whatever you call it, must be performing if the organizations wants to perform. And the trigger to this team performance is a good leaderships, okay, a strong leaderships. And one way to make sure the strong leadership is there is by implementing the strategic leadership's approach. Okay, so as mentioned in the slide, productivity and management mindset play major roles, like how leaders think equals how they lead. A strategic mindset reflects strategic agility, which means the ability to see how the big picture relates to here and now. So this message about here and now is the message in your second assignment. Okay, here means existing and also the past. That's why you make the benchmarking and you make the evaluations, and also you assess yourself. And now also about what is required, what is demanded by the organizations, and how the big picture, let's say the visions, the future can also relate to the existing conditions that you have. So yeah, this is strategic thinking, right? Strategic examination, strategic assessments, strategic choices, and strategic implementations. These are the 3 key steps in strategic planning. Okay, and if we can list down, yeah, some of the most important qualities and traits of effective strategic leaders and managers, then roughly we have 14, okay, qualities and traits. The reason why I mentioned this 14, because of, you know, just to simplify, okay, by instead of having too many traits, yeah, and instead of leaving the discussions to you to decide what kind of qualities and traits are required, better to propose some items for you to start with, right? And from this you can elaborate, or you can add more skills, or, you know, even if you just want to limit your discussions qualities to only these 14, traits, that approach is already sufficient, okay, for you to develop assignment 2. Yeah, so don't worry. Some of the quality traits are also sorry. Another thing why I mentioned this 14, because that's why we have the unit descriptions, right? We don't want to go too far, yeah, beyond the unit description. So let's stick first with that's it. This is about what we already have here and now. So now we already have the unit descriptions, and let's use this as our foundations. And from here we can maybe elaborate. So articulate, strategic thinker, visionary, disciplined, accountable, high emotional intelligence, motivated, compassionate, open-minded, goal-focused, hard decision maker, effective communicator, demonstrate integrity, and inspirational. I'm confident that almost all of the traits mentioned in this slide are already familiar to you. You can even define the what is it called, the qualities or traits using your own words. You don't really need to revert to a textbook or academic, let's say, source just to define each of these traits, because their day-to-day use, I mean, this vocabularies, yeah, their day-to-day use are also similar to their use in strategic leadership and manager. So very less likely you will get this wrong. Yeah, like discipline. I think you know what discipline means, right? Accountable, yeah, and etc. etc. However, even said so, I still need to break down each of these definitions just to provide you with something to start with, and maybe also another angle, I would say, yeah, in case you think of it differently than the way my slides here presented to you. So, okay, let's go through maybe some of them. This is almost 9 p.m., right? So let's go through maybe just one or two, and then we'll discuss the rest in the next meeting, okay? So articulate, yeah. So this has something to do with communications, all right? So if you notice, we mentioned about these communications so many times during our discussions about strategic leadership and management. Yeah, because the end stage of strategic planning is about strategic executions, right? And in the context, to put this in the context of management, strategic should not be executed solely by the leader, by the manager, but this is about the art of achieving goals through or by means. Okay, this is to in bahasa Indonesia kejam ya the definition, but that's it, management, ya, the art of achieving goals by means of other people's, or in this case your followers, your staffs, your employers, your employees, sorry. So in doing so, yeah, communication is the tools and the weapon to make sure that strategies can be executed. So you must be able to communicate with clarity. Okay. There are many, even if you want to, let's say, break down, yeah, the meaning of clarity, I don't think it's so necessary, right? You know what clarity means. Okay, if your information can be easily understood, can be easily followed up, okay, that's already, yeah, you send your what is it called, your listener, your followers, yeah, or in terms of communications, this is about the receiver of the information, clear message, that's it. This is the clarity, right? If I may recall the definitions of communications in its simplest, let's say, form, communications about who says what to whom with what channel. Okay, so communications is about the components of it includes a transmitter, yeah, of the informations and receiver of the informations. In between, we have the message, okay, and then that's it. The what, yeah, who says what? The message is the what. To whom is the receiver. With what channel? That's the language, the medium of communications, by emails, by briefing, by town hall meeting, evaluation, appraisals, whatever. Okay, so that's a medium. The language, formally, informally, using English, using second language, etc., etc. But yeah, that's the medium. And don't forget this: who says what to whom with what channel can also be evaluated, whether it is efficient or not. Okay, you can check if your communication is efficient or not by, for example, collecting the feedback. Okay, like for example, when I ask you, do you have questions, or when I distribute the assignment brief to you, this is one way to ensure that what I communicate to you about strategic and leadership management are received properly or not, right? Because if you can answer to the feedback, or if you can provide me the feedback in terms of your assignment, then I can assess if my communications is clear enough or not. So again, this is all about the clarity, right? Strategic leaders must be able to communicate with clarity. So this is the meaning of articulations. They must be able to express the organizational visions in a way that members can understand. Okay. Again, many ways, yeah, you can deliver the message. Okay, especially nowadays with the advancements in technologies, so many ways. Okay, we can communicate our message, but the big picture is always the same. Communication is efficient if you get a feedback, and not just any feedback. It must be the expected feedback. In this case, the feedback of your subordinates are their performance, and not just any performance. It must be a productive performance that deliver the results you want, the result that envisioned by you as the strategic leader. Okay, I think I don't want to extend this any longer because it's already 9. I know you guys might be quite tired, right, after the long day, and need to prepare for tomorrow's work as well. So maybe if there's 1 or 2 questions that I can help you with, please. If not, then we can just stop the discussions and continue the rest in the next meeting. Any comment, anyone, please?
Sir, I want to
Yeah.
ask. So for the assignment for the A, you say the qualities and traits. So we can use the 14 qualities and traits, right?
Yes.
For A is for we need to relate to the effectiveness management function and the leadership of the qualities and traits of the manager that's selected.
Okay, yeah, I think I understand your question. So,
And
yeah,
we're
you have.
giving the example.
Okay, so yeah. If you jump, okay, let me share my screen again. Sorry, just okay. This comes with examples. You can check it on the internet, or if you. Okay, yeah, see the list of references. If you check the list of references, you can find more explanations about each of the items I mentioned, even with the example. So please check, and maybe I can also discuss some examples in the next meeting, especially those I think still blur, yeah, the definitions. Maybe we should come with an example. So noted on that input. But about the first questions you have, so the qualities and traits, okay, so these are the benchmark, okay, they are meant for benchmark. So when you talk about the existing manager, yeah, let's say you want to talk about whether he or she was compassionate enough or not, whether he or she were goal focused or not. So, you know, if you talk about yourself, you can tell, right? You can evaluate yourself. Or if this is not about you, but about someone else, maybe you should, I know, maybe you should have an interview, like I think one of you did an interview, right? Dita, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Dita. Yeah, for example, you want to have another interview with Tokopedia's manager, for example, you know, just to make sure. Of course, the way you ask the question not going to be straightforward, like, hey, are you visionary enough or not? Everyone by default will answer yes to all the questions. If you just ask question close barrel questions like that, then most likely everyone would say the yes, right? Yes. I'm articulate. Yes, I'm strategic thinker. Yes, but so in order to get the most of the answer, maybe you should again paraphrase your interview a little bit, so you would get the answer you want. But anyway, yeah, that's how you do it. These quality traits listed are meant for your benchmark, so then you can evaluate, yeah, if your manager was effective and efficient enough or not. Okay, Nigel, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, so I think that's all right for today, class. So thank you once again for your participations for today's class. I'm going to see you again this Saturday, and maybe you can already start, you know, with the assignment preparations. No need to wait for the next next meeting, because I hope by now you already get the big picture, you know, about the second assignment. So please start as soon as possible, start ahead, and if you have any questions in between, you can always text me, and see you soon. Yeah, thank you. I'll get back to you about the Friday's replacements class. Okay, but this Saturday, definitely we have the normal schedule. Okay, thank you, and have a good rest. See you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.